The film begins by showing what housewives usually do. At that time, there's a woman cooking in the kitchen, carefully making breakfast and making sure everything is neatly placed on the dining table. Even though she's busy, she still watches over her little kids, making sure they're safe and happy, and giving them lots of love even when she's tired. But all this work feels really hard for a woman named Kim Ji-young. Every day seems like an endless routine, with tasks that never stop. Ji-young feels stuck in a tiring cycle of duties, with no time for herself. She takes care of her child all by herself, from giving them a bath to putting them to sleep, spending most of her day doing the same tiring things. Even though Ji-young always has a smile on her face, she's very tired inside. She misses the times when she could enjoy life without stress, but her responsibilities as a mom and wife seem to take over all her dreams. The scene then shows Ji-young's husband, Da-yoon. At that time, Da-yoon is seen talking to a psychiatrist. He is worried about his wife because she seems different lately. The pressure and burden on her are getting heavier. Ji-young often feels moody, gets easily angry, and has trouble sleeping. These changes make Da-yoon anxious and confused, so he seeks help from a professional. The psychiatrist listens to Da-yoon and asks about Ji-young's condition. He explains that his wife, who used to be cheerful and energetic, now looks tired and sad. Then it shows Ji-young taking care of her child in the city park. She drinks coffee while sitting and swinging her legs. Suddenly, she hears some people gossiping behind her. They are jealous of housewives who can relax and drink coffee while their husbands work. Feeling uncomfortable, Ji-young leaves the park and goes home. When she gets home, she finds out her child is sick. Quickly, Ji-young prepares medicine and gives her child a bath. After a while, Da-yoon comes home early and helps bathe their child. Ji-young then prepares dinner. While eating, Ji-young, looking tired, tells Da-yoon that she has been easily irritated lately. Da-yoon, noticing that his wife seems depressed, suggests they go on a holiday for New Year and not visit his parents' house. But Ji-young refuses to go on vacation and chooses to stick to her usual routine and visit her in-laws, even though she feels stressed. In past years, Ji-young always gave up holidays to visit her in-laws. Even when she was very pregnant, she was still willing to travel a long distance. If she didn't go this year, her in-laws would be upset with her. Finally, New Year's Day came, and they went to her in-laws' house. On that day, her mother-in-law told Ji-young to cook a huge amount of dumplings. And Da-yoon, who couldn't stand seeing his wife tired from cooking, suggested they buy food instead. But his mother insisted on cooking. Ji-young felt torn between obeying her mother-in-law and listening to her husband. Finally, she decided to follow her mother-in-law's wishes. Feeling sorry for Ji-young, Da-yoon tried to help by washing dishes to lighten her load. But his mother stopped him, saying kitchen work is for women. Ji-young felt bad about her in-laws. As days went by, like most daughters-in-law, Ji-young woke up early to help in the kitchen. Her in-laws liked to give gifts to Ji-young. At first, she was happy to receive them. However, when she opened the gift, it was an apron, meaning she was expected to help with kitchen work during the holiday. While everyone was busy watching TV, Ji-young was still working in the kitchen. Da-yoon knew his wife was tired and unhappy, so he packed their things to go home. But then, his older sister came from overseas. They decided to stay longer at the in-laws' house. The mother-in-law treated Da-yoon's older sister very differently. She complained about being tired at her in-laws' house and wanted to relax at her mom's place. She casually told Ji-young to prepare appetizers and desserts, like she was a servant. This is when Ji-young's illness started showing. Another personality appeared. This other version of Ji-young harshly scolded her mother-in-law for the bad treatment, and she did this without realizing it. To calm things down, Da-yoon quickly asked his wife to leave. Then, they moved to Ji-young's parents' house. Ji-young, looking very tired, went straight to her room to sleep. She started remembering her childhood with her older sister, where her grandmother taught her that women were less important than men. Ji-young's grandmother even pressured her mother to give birth to a boy. Years later, Ji-young's little brother was born. Since he arrived, their father treated them differently, even giving different souvenirs. At that time, Ji-young felt jealous and hurt. Now, the holidays are over, and they return to their normal routine. But Ji-young completely forgets about the incident that happened before. Da-yoon, worried about his wife, suggests that Ji-young see a psychiatrist. He mentions that many mothers suffer from postpartum depression. Dayoon feels guilty because he sees that his wife is unhappy. Ji-young starts to remember her past. She was a very smart young girl, but her career didn't progress because the company didn't support married women. They thought married women wouldn't be good for important jobs. Her boss, Kim, praised Ji-young's excellent work. Kim knew Ji-young was smart but couldn't promote her because she had just gotten married and was planning to have children. Kim, a successful career woman, also felt unhappy and guilty for leaving her child while working. Back to the present, Ji-young takes her child to school as usual. After dropping off her child, some other mothers invite her to drink tea together. Ji-young learns that she isn't the only one who had to give up her dreams. These women were also talented and successful in school, but everything changed after they became mothers. After meeting with the other moms, Ji-young thought about going back to work. She even considered working as a cashier at a bakery. Then, a former colleague contacted her with a job offer. It turns out, Kim, their old boss, has resigned and started a new company. This news made Ji-young think a lot. Going back to work could help her feel more independent and reduce the stress she feels at home. But she worries about how to balance work and family, especially with young kids. Meanwhile, Dayoon, who is busy with his own job, tries to learn more about how to help with postpartum depression. He feels sad and worried seeing the changes in Ji-young, who often doesn't seem like herself since becoming a mother. Dayoon feels helpless and tries to talk about his feelings with other men, hoping for advice or solutions to help Ji-young. But he doesn't find any useful answers. In his confusion, Dayoon keeps searching for information and learning more about postpartum depression to understand what Ji-young is going through. Even though he feels lost, his efforts show his deep love and concern for his wife. In the evening after work, Ji-young is folding clothes as usual. Dayoon gently suggests that she exercise to relieve stress, but she refuses and says she wants to go back to work. Hearing that, Dayoon worries about it because of her health. That night, Ji-young's other personality comes out again. This other Ji-young asks Dayoon to appreciate his wife more and brings up past traumas. In the morning, she has no memory of what happened the night before. Feeling confused, she decides to see a psychiatrist. But when she sees the cost, she goes home, thinking it's too expensive since she feels okay. Days go by. After meeting her friends, bad memories from the past come back to Ji-young. In middle school, she was followed by a man on the bus. Scared, she asked a mother for help. Her father came to pick her up but scolded her for wearing a short skirt. It made her feel like if a woman is harassed, it's her appearance that's blamed. That day, Dayoon's mother came to visit. But when she found out that Ji-young was sick, she didn't want to see her and chose to buy herbal medicine for her instead. At the same time, Dayoon had a business trip. Meanwhile, Ji-young decided to go to her mother's birthday. On the way, she was busy carrying her baby and her belongings. She often daydreamed, and this is when memories of her past came back. Ji-young remembered how her mother had once dreamed of becoming a teacher, but had to give up that dream to take care of her children. That night, during her mother's birthday celebration, Ji-young's aunt kept commenting on how she wasn't dressed up. There, Ji-young asked why she had to buy food and protested when people said her younger brother shouldn't help in the kitchen. These small comments about gender roles triggered her depression. But that night, Ji-young also felt happy spending time with her siblings. They enjoyed looking at old photo albums and reminiscing. Finally, the day Ji-young had been waiting for arrived. She met with Kim, who offered her a job. Fortunately, Ji-young was accepted for the job. Then we see a flashback to when young Ji-young was about to graduate. At that time, Ji-young didn't want to take graduation photos because she didn't have a job. Her father agreed, saying she didn't need to work or have a career, and it was better to just get married. That night, Ji-young, who was very happy about getting the job, decorated her house with balloons and cake. Dayoon saw this and remained silent. Turns out, Ji-young had always dreamed of being a career woman. She had big ambitions to be successful in her job, making her life feel meaningful and accomplished. However, this dream often clashed with family expectations, especially pressure from parents and society who wanted her to have children soon. For Dayoon, having a child might not change his life drastically. But for Ji-young, deciding to start a family had major consequences. Her life would focus not only on her career but also on being a mother. These considerations made her feel trapped between her dreams and her obligations, struggling to choose between following her heart or meeting others' expectations. The next day, Ji-young was eagerly looking for a nanny, but no one applied. So, Dayoon decided to take a year off work to help. In Korea, companies allow husbands to take paternity leave, even though it might affect their careers. Seeing how much Ji-young wanted to work, Dayoon was willing to sacrifice his job. This gave them hope, but Dayoon's mother disagreed. She couldn't understand why a husband would take leave while his wife worked. She called Ji-young's mother, angry that Ji-young was hurting her son's career. Upon knowing that, Ji-young's mother was very sad and rushed to see her daughter. She saw how Ji-young's mental health was affected, where Ji-young talked like someone else and gave advice without realizing it. Seeing her daughter's depression, Ji-young's mother got angry at Ji-young's father for raising their children unfairly. Turns out, Ji-young's father always favored boys, thinking they deserved more attention. Days passed. Ji-young told her best friend about her frustrations and how limited her life felt. That night, Dayoon finally told Ji-young that she was depressed and had another personality without realizing it. Then, Ji-young was acting like her grandmother. At that time, Dayoon felt very sad and guilty seeing his wife like this. Morning came, and Ji-young's younger brother brought food. He also realized that their father treated the children very differently. Finally, Ji-young went to a psychiatrist and started treatment. She also informed Kim about her mental health issues. While undergoing treatment, Ji-young wrote all her feelings in a diary. She expressed all her sadness and frustration there. Now, she also dares to speak up against people who judge her as a mother. She began speaking honestly about her struggles and helping others understand the challenges mothers face. At that time, Kim responded with understanding and support. She not only listened, but also gave suggestions that helped Ji-young in her healing process. With support from Kim and her colleagues, Ji-young feels stronger and believes she can get through these tough times. Now, Ji-young has found her old self again. In fact, all her diary writings have been published in a book titled Kim Ji-young. Although her healing process was not easy, but with support from family, friends, and a psychiatrist, she was able to face every obstacle better. Every day brings Ji-young closer to the happiness and mental health she desires. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is sometimes you need to write in a diary, stand up to annoying in-laws, and get some therapy to realize that balancing life is like juggling donuts. It's tricky but worth it.